I don't understand why the industry overseas and the Indian industry remakes old films. Telling the same story more than once seems pointless. I understand when a film is made in a different language, it needs to be remade in English or Hindi. Even then, I think just dubbing the film with great voice actor would be much better. That being said, I was on board for a remake of The Running Man because Edgar Wright was directing it. Edgar Wright is my favorite director. I've loved practically everything he's worked on, from Baby Driver to the Cornetto trilogy, and even before that, Spaced, a TV show that probably no one has heard of. He's the only director from Hollywood I really know. I know other directors, of course, I know other directors and what they've done, but I really only know Edgar Wright. I love Edgar Wright. I love almost everything he's worked on. So it was a bit of a surprise when Running Man didn't play out like an Edgar Wright film. His personality doesn't come through in the film. And maybe that, for me, is its biggest failing. Edgar Wright films are kinetic. They've got innovative cuts. The music is brilliant. This film has none of that. This is just a soulless husk of a film. It's entertaining, no doubt, and I think that's largely because Edgar Wright directed it, but this is just a soulless film. This 2025 Running Man film tries to stick to King's writing, his vision, and in doing so, I think it loses some of that flavor Wright's films seem to have. Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, for instance, is tonally very different from the comics. There are similarities, of course, but the comic and the film feel different. That's because Edgar Wright brought all of his film ideas to Scott Pilgrim. The 1987 Running Man film doesn't have stylized editing. There are no clever dialogues. It was a somewhat silly film, and I don't know if it's the tone of the film or if it's Arnold Schwarzenegger or what, but that film was entertaining. It was fun. It was worth the price of the ticket. And then look at The Monkey, also based on a Stephen King book, but the film has a tone that isn't a Stephen King tone. Osgood Perkins, the director, took that story and made it his own, and the film feels pretty damn authentic to both Stephen King and Osgood Perkins. I don't know. Maybe Edgar Wright just did this film for the paycheck. He put some heart into it, sure, but there's not enough heart to make this film stand out. And the funny thing is, the film has strong anti-capitalist ideas. It talks about how the media has turned into this calculating rabid monster that'll chew you up and spit you out. And it talks about the corporate machinery that oppresses the poor. And yet the people who made this film are the people who are going to profit tremendously from this film. I don't know if these anti-capitalist ideas have just been stuffed into the film because they look good in films, or if the people who made the film, Edgar Wright included, actually believe in these ideas. I was sort of disappointed that this wasn't an Edgar Wright film. I still enjoyed the film for whatever it was, but I was disappointed with it as an Edgar Wright film. In fact, I'm done with remakes really. Just tell me a story that's new and interesting and entertaining, or at the very least, thoughtful,